Contributor Kurt Bardella is with us now. He's a veteran political and media strategist. Kurt, welcome as always. So by all indications, they say we're in this to win it. We're going to get on this ballot in all 50 states. Do they have time left to do so?
I mean, it's a very condensed timeline that we're working with here. And to qualify for the first debate, certainly that we've seen that one of the qualifications is any candidate who would participate has to have a viable path to get the electoral college votes needed, which requires you to be on the ballot in enough states to get said electoral votes. I don't know if they're going to have time to do that. I know that this infusion by the vice presidential nominee candidate of $8 million will certainly play a role in helping them expedite that. But we're talking about a lot of states, a lot of ballots. $8 million, that's not a lot of money when you're looking at a national campaign to qualify to get on, to get people to sign signatures, distribute signatures. That's an intensive ground game effort that requires actual human resources, boots on the ground doing that. I don't know if they're going to have time to pull it off, to be quite honest.
Are you seeing momentum with his campaign? I mean, what's working right now in his favor?
Well, I think it's kind of two sides of a coin. On one hand, the fact that you have to have your own ticket finance this effort says you're not getting enough donations to do it yourself. So you can look at that and go, well, you must not be getting as much support as you think if you don't have the money from actual donors and you're relying on your partner to write a big check every couple of months. On the other, RFK is certainly getting a tremendous amount of attention. I mean, it seems clear to me that he's running a pretty much 100% earned media campaign and hoping that playbook does enough to get him at least over the threshold to qualify for the debates, to do enough to get enough signatures to appear in enough states to qualify for the debate. We'll see if that works. But if I were the Kennedy campaign, I think the one concerning point is you're not raising enough money from individual small dollar donations that fuel most of the national campaigns. Most of the Democrats and Republicans rely on those small donors from their base. Kennedy's base isn't giving him enough money. And
who does he spoil in this scenario? I mean, who does he take votes from if he does get in and gets on the ballot where he wants to?
Well, this is one of those unique situations we've ever had because we have two main candidates in Biden and Trump who everybody in America knows. There's no new ground there to be uncovered at this point. They're two of the best known candidates in American political history. And so we're talking about a very small constituency of people who might go for a third party candidate who are just not happy with the Trump-Biden dynamic. We know that there are voters who feel that way, who have expressed that way. 20% of Republican primary voters keep voting for Nikki Haley for some reason, even though she's been out of the race for months. And we've seen at times the protests right now that Biden's incurring from the left due to what's going on in the Middle East have also animated an anti-Biden feeling within the Democratic Party. It's entirely possible, frankly, that for every vote that Kennedy gets on the right, he's also going to get on the left, and they kind of cancel each other out.
Yeah, that's interesting. I want to talk to you real quick about the debate. Some debates have now been set, the first in June on CNN between Biden and Trump. We'll leave RFK as the unknown in that first matchup. What are your expectations? No audience, the parameters now being set. What are you anticipating? What will you be looking for?
It's kind of like the debate that nobody really wants in terms of the viewing public. We're not going to get near the viewing audience that we've had in previous presidential elections, certainly in 2016, where those numbers were quite robust, and again in 2020. I think that ultimately this is going to be one of the situations where there's going to be all the hype, all the conversation leading up to it, and then it's going to kind of be a nothing burger. It'll be impactful for an immediate week, and then we'll move on to the next thing, which will be the next debate, the vice presidential debate that's also been scheduled. We've seen that these things have a shorter shelf life. Even big, State of the Union is a great example. All the hype about will Biden be able to deliver it without stuttering, without having a big mess up, without having a big gap. He delivered it without those things, got some celebration for it. And then like 2 weeks later, it's like it didn't happen. I think unless one of the two candidates doesn't have a really bad moment, that it's just going to be just kind of a net, cancel each other out effect.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard it both ways, but there's so much animosity that's new and fresh between these two political powerhouses that I think certainly a lot of people are going to tune in to hear what they have to say to one another.
I'll put it this way. If you like Donald Trump, nothing that's going to happen at the debates and make you not like him. And if you like Joe Biden, nothing at the debates and make you not like him. We're so entrenched in our sides right now. It's hard to see it being a real difference maker unless someone has a really bad moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think minds will be changed, but I mean, it must see TV to see the two of them face to face for the first time in a long time. Kurt, good to see you. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks so much. Have a great one.
Thank you.